All right, today I thought I'd read us a story. I'm outside, so I'm going to prop this up somewhere. Oh, there we go. I thought I'd read you the story of the hare and the tortoise. And I've got some helpers around here somewhere. One of them's really easy to catch because it's very slow. Can you guess which one that might be? Let me see if I can find it. Ooh, here he is. Can you guess which is the slow one? Yeah, it's George. Now, as you know, a lot of you've met him before, this is George the tortoise. And he lives in his shell. And he walks very, very slowly. If I tilt it, you can see him walking away. There you go. This is George. He's just having a little think about where he's going to go next. We've got another animal with me this morning who's not meant to be here because she's not in the story. But this is Jammy Dodger. Jammy Dodger is currently in the rabbit hutch having a play. The rabbits aren't in the rabbit hutch, but Jammy likes being in here as well. She gets a bit confused about being a cat and thinks she might really be a rabbit. And then the other animal we need in our story today is a rabbit, but it's going to take me a bit longer to catch one of those. Wait a minute. Where is a rabbit? Let me see. We'll bring this one over. Oh, I found an animal. Do we think this one's a rabbit? Or is this one another pussycat? Yeah, this is Treacle the Terror. Treacle the Terror's always up to no good. She chases other cats around the garden. Yeah, and makes growling noises. We don't need Treacle the Terror. Where, oh where? Ah, I found a rabbit. There's a rabbit. There's one. Oh, I can't catch that one. There's a rabbit. Come here. Come on. Gotta catch a rabbit. Where's the rabbit? Come on, bunny, 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 bunny. I'm gonna catch me a bunny, 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 bunny. There you are. Come on. Come on. Come on, 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 come on. Everywhere but... Oh. Here we go. And here is a bunny. This bunny is called Fred. Yeah, and he can help us with the story today. All right, well, our story is called The Hare and the Tortoise. Okay? And it's about a very fast hare and a very slow tortoise. Fred, would you like to be the really fast hare? Yeah, do you think you can? So let's move the screen so it's not quite as much in the sun. Oh, let's sit down and plonk Fred up here. Oh, no, Fred's run away. So the hare and the tortoise. The hare was always boasting about what a fast animal he was and how fast he could run. I'm the fastest animal in the land, he would say. One day the hare asked, who will run a race with me? The other animals were fed up with him always boasting. But one animal said, oh, I'll do it. And he was a tortoise. Ha, 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 laughed Hare. The hare laughed so loud that the other animals all gasped. The tortoise just smiled. Preparations for the race began. The fox drew up a map of the route of the race that was going to take place the following week. So you can see they've got to start and they've got to run over the bridge, all the way around the trees past the house and round to the end. Whoosh! For the next 7 days, Hare showed off his speedy running around the meadow, dashing up the hills, knocking animals over and upsetting just about everybody. Sometimes when we run around and bang things and knock over things, we do upset people, don't we? The tortoise just watched. He watched from far away, chewing his food and grass and leaves, and he just smiled. He wasn't bothered, was he? The night before the race, the tortoise went to bed early, smiling happily as the sun went down. "Early to bed, early to rise," he said to himself. Meanwhile, the hare stayed up late, partying with his friends and neighbours at the badgers. Their noisy antics kept everyone else awake. Having a party with the badgers. The next day, the tortoise woke up bright and early, stretching his muscles, getting ready for the race. The tortoise awoke and he felt fresh, full of energy, and he ate a hearty breakfast of carrots and cabbage. Because we know veggies are really good for you. Oh, the hare, woke up with a terrible headache. He really wasn't feeling very well. He wasn't feeling quite so refreshed. His late night meant that he'd had hardly any sleep at all, and he felt exhausted. He poured himself a large glass of carrot juice, glug, 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 glug. And he poured and had a nice drink. He yawned loudly. Oh. Yeah. Out in the meadow, the animals were getting ready for the race. You see, there's Tortoise and he's got a number 2, and Hare has got a number 1. Fox is ready at the beginning. There were stalls selling cakes and sandwiches. Balloons and bunting had been tied to trees. A party atmosphere was bubbling. Okay, can you see all the animals? We've got foxes, we've got badgers, we've got mice, a bear, that one's a deer, and even an owl in the tree. They're all ready for the beginning of this race. At last, it was time for the race to start. Feeling more like his usual self, the hare took his place at the start line. "Get ready to lose," he said to the tortoise. It's not very nice, is it? That's not using your kind words. What do you think, Jammy? No? The tortoise just smiled. He didn't seem in the least bit worried. Then the fox began the countdown to the race. You ready? We're going to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On your marks, get set, go! Now, they start races with a whistle. Can you whistle? I can't whistle very well. They were off, running as fast as they could. Come here. The hare dashed away at full speed around the meadow and then up the hill. He stopped to look back and saw the tortoise plodding far behind. Shall we see if we can find the tortoise plodding far behind? Shall we? Let's see if we can find the tortoise plodding far behind. I think we probably can. Here we go. Can you see the tortoise plodding far behind? Oh, George is coming to see us through the bars today. There he is. Come on, George. You're plodding far behind. You are plod, plod. Look how slowly George moves, plodding far behind. Well, do you think George is going to win, or is George going to lose the race? Shall we find out and check in the book? Okay, here we go. So the rabbit had looked back and he could see the tortoise plodding far behind. As he ran down the hill, the hare grabbed some crunchy lettuces from a field he spotted for a mid-morning snack. Look, he's eating the crunchy lettuces. The sun was warm and he decided to have a short nap. After all, he'd had a really late night the night before. Tortoise was so far behind. Shall we see if we can find a rabbit having a small nap? Let's have a look around the garden and see if we can find a rabbit. I think I've found one over here. Oh, he's not having a nap though. Shall we see if we can find it? Oh, can you see the rabbit? It's hiding behind the pot. You can see its fluffy tail. I can see another rabbit laying in the raspberries. But he's not having a nap either, is he? Let me see if I can find him for you. There you go. Staying very still. So who's going to win this race? Is it the rabbits nibbling and having a nap? Or is it going to be the tortoise going slow and steady? Let's find out. In the meantime, the tortoise carried on up the hill and over the top. Slept the hare by the tree. He saw the hare snoozing under a tree and marched bravely past. The hare didn't even stir a whisker. He didn't wake up. Can you see he's fast asleep? Can you go? I know, Jammy. You want to be fast asleep too, don't you? Much, much later, feeling stiff and cold, the hare woke up with a start. He looked around. The sun, he saw how low the sun was in the sky. It must be almost evening. He feared the worst. Was he going to lose the race? Pant, pant, wheeze, the hare flew around the rest of the route at top speed. He ran like he'd never ran before, to run really, 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 really fast. But in the distance, he heard shouting. Yeah! He heard clapping. Woo! And he could just see the tortoise getting close to the finish line. With the finish line in sight and the crowd roaring him on, the tortoise staggered on as fast as he could. Is he going to win? Is he going to win? A few minutes later, he crossed the line to huge applause, and the crowd was shouting his name. They were going, Tortoise, Tortoise, Tortoise. Can you do it? Give him a really big clap. If you clap and keep shouting, Tortoise, Tortoise, I can see if I can find George to win the end of the race. Here he is. So we can see that George, they shouted, Tortoise, Tortoise, Tortoise. And gave him a big clap. Can you give George a really big clap? The hare had lost his own challenge. And from now on, perhaps he'd stop being so boastful and saying he was the best runner and the best at everything. Slow and steady can often win the race. And that is the end. Now today, you might like to sort yourself out a race. But first of all, you have to do what Fox did, and you need to plan yourself a map, a route. So you need some paper and some pens or pencils, and you need to draw yourself a map for your route. Now, your route might be an outside route, or it might be an inside route. Doesn't matter which. You might draw a line that goes under a table or behind a chair. Or if you've got space in your garden, you might go round your bike or round your scooter. You can decide what you need to go over and what you need to go under. And then you can decide if you're going to do it really fast or if you're going to do it really, really slow. Are you going to be a tortoise, or are you going to be, I'm looking round to see if there's one, a hare? I think my rabbits are hiding at the moment and don't want to be the hare, so you'll have to try it. See you soon. Hope you enjoyed the story. Bye.